What's up, y'all? This is video number 2 for Brian Sells Words, or video number 2 for me. This is for Brian Sells Words. So on today's episode, I want to talk about, a couple of things that have been weighing on my mind. But the title says I don't wear a suit. I'm not wearing a suit. Um, and it goes into a larger component that I do want to discuss, which is the prospect of I see a lot of new establishing business owners and things like that. I see a lot of people chasing clients, and I'll talk about why. From my experience, chasing clients is kind of a no go, and it does tie into the concept of I ain't wearing a suit. Just is what it is. So that's what we're going to talk about on today's episode. As you can see, the scroll, if you post a comment or whatnot, if you have a comment for me, let me know who you are, because the software I'm using doesn't always let me know exactly who's commenting on what. So let me know who you are so I can shout you out on here. I'll be posting my email and things like that if you want to get in contact for consulting things. But I do kind of want to explain. I took a little bit of time away. I want to kind of explain the new direction of I Sell Words and what the vision is for it. So I'll do that real quick, and then I'm gonna get into the meat of my topic. I Sell Words. What I want to do is I'm more in line with wanting to teach people how to do their own marketing now. I have clients that I work with. I'm managing their marketing stuff, and I've kind of reached my bandwidth with that. And so I am more in line with teaching you how to manage your own marketing for little or no cost, and sometimes a small investment into your marketing efforts. I'd rather teach you the most cost-effective ways to leverage your pennies to get dollar results. And so I'd rather teach you how to do your marketing as opposed to do it yourself, because I just don't have the time. Be transparent with y'all. And so I have my clients I work with, and I wouldn't trade them for the world, but I'm running out of time to do other people's marketing. And so I'd rather teach you, give you the blueprint on how to figure out how to exactly target your market and leverage the audience that you want. And surprisingly enough, that ties into what we're talking about here. So that's a nice segue into it. So I ain't wearing a suit. It is what it is. Um, if I have to, as a business owner, if I have to wear a suit to get you to want to do business with me, then you're not the right client, and I'm not the right person to provide the service for you. That's just how I view it. I mean, it's taken a long time to reach that point, but I do think a lot of business owners spend a lot of inordinate amount of time worrying about creating a business that they're going to, where people where people are going to take them seriously as a business owner or whatnot. I think they spend so much time doing that they end up stripping out a lot of the things that make their business unique. They strip out a lot of their unique voices. They strip out a lot of their dream clients. They strip out a lot of that stuff that speaks to the core group of people that they want to work with, because they're so obsessed with looking professional. And so, and then, they go into weird contortions, they'll put on they'll wear things that they don't normally wear. They'll talk in ways they don't normally talk. They'll do their marketing in ways that they normally wouldn't present themselves, so they can present the best image of themselves, but it's not really who they are, if that makes sense, y'all. And so that's why I say I ain't wearing a suit. If I had to put on the suit and tie to capture your business, then we're not connecting on a level where I feel like I can provide great service to you. Because if you're coming to me, you're coming from my unique perspective, and my unique perspective doesn't involve a suit and tie. It's not buttoned up or anything along those lines. It is, what you see is what you get. And hopefully, I present myself in a way where I know what I'm talking about. I have enough knowledge to kind of get you to where you want to go, as long as I have a couple of pieces of information. And I don't really feel like the suit and tie button down thing really matters much for the clientele I want to chase. Be honest with you. Here's the thing. And there's this concept called enclosed cognition. And I may be getting the science of it a little bit screwy, but bear with me. Enclosed cognition basically says, when you put on clothes, you end up embodying a lot of the messages that clothing conveys. So if you put people in a big long white coat and call it a painter smock, they're going to perform differently on an IQ test or a test of analytical ability than if you tell them that that big long white coat is a lab coat. And they've done studies to show that basically dressing in a certain way invokes a certain set of behaviors from you. So, saying all that to say this, if I put on a suit, then I'm going to give you a buttoned up answer that doesn't really align with my philosophy on marketing or how things need to be done. Just not giving you me. I've done the suit thing when I was a director of different youth shelters, youth programs and stuff, had to go to court and things like that. I'd done the suit thing, and since it didn't really reflect who I felt like I was on the inside, they were getting a ready for television or ready for a mainstream version of me, and it wasn't exactly who I was, and that's probably why I ended up washing out of that field after almost 20 years in, where I felt like I was sliding on a mask and I wasn't being authentic to who I was. When I was working direct line, direct service, front line, working right next to the kids and not doing the programming piece of it, I was able to be a little bit more of who I was, and that's because I didn't have to put on a suit and tie every day. I could go in t-shirt and shorts and do my job and do it well. So that's why I'm saying that. When I'm saying don't chase clients, I'm saying this: don't alter who you are. Don't alter what your services are. Don't alter the scope of what you're willing to do to capture a client that doesn't want to work with you. At some point in time, that level of pursuit ends up taking away from it drains your reserves of energy to deliver good services. And a lot of times what happens is when you chase a client, and this is my experience, you chase a client because they had a lot of reservations about working with you, and you weren't able to alleviate those reservations in conversations, talking about what their expectations are and what you're going to provide them, and you weren't able to reassure them about the value of their services, value of your services. You end up chasing them, you end up capturing them. They're never going to be satisfied with the level of service that you're going to provide. It's not going to happen, because you've kind of set it in motion that they're to be chased. And so you're constantly chasing their approval. And so you're not going to be happy. That's a good way to end up presenting your client. And I'm not saying this all the time. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes there's that client that you do chase down because you want to work with them so much that you end up chasing them to the ends of the earth. You get opportunity to work with them and they deeply appreciate everything you do and you love creating stuff for them. But a lot of times that client that you chase, you've kind of set the wheels in motion for them to never really be satisfied with the quality of work that you provide to them. And maybe your service wasn't the right match for them. Maybe it wasn't the right fit at the time. Maybe if, you spend a little bit more time educating and informing them about their service, educating them, informing them about how your service can add value to them, add value to their businesses or to their lives, you could alleviate a lot of that doubt. And then you're not in this mode of chasing. You get them on a mailing list, you keep providing them good, relevant information. You get them watching your content on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. And you're answering a lot of those questions passively without directly answering those questions. That makes sense. They learn to build a rapport with you. They learn to trust you. And now they're ready to come around. They see the value that you can provide to them, and they're willing to sit down and work with you. So that's the difference between chasing clients and, having clients come to you. The reality is there's no such thing as sitting down, hanging your shingle outside your window, and people show up at your doorstep. It just doesn't happen. Unless you have some transformative thing that's never been seen before, or you found the perfect alignment of, okay, here's the thing that everybody needs. All I got to do is just put my shingle outside and people will show up. That doesn't happen. There are great businesses out there that have spent no time with developing a sound marketing strategy, and they're great businesses. They're wonderful businesses. They provide high quality products or services. Nobody will ever find out about them. People don't assess your quality of your services until they actually experience them for themselves. So I'm saying that to say this. There's a balance between chasing your clients and creating a marketing message that draws in the clients that you want. I drift towards creating a marketing message that draws in the clients that you want. I think that that's more beneficial than chasing down people who don't want to do business with you and basically making them do business with you at gunpoint. I don't think that's a viable strategy. And it's been proven to me, clients when I've chased, every time I've chased, there was something that came out along the way where it just turned out to not work out. Now, there are clients that are worth chasing and worth pursuing, but think of them as traffic that you need to warm up. You need to warm them up a little bit to what your services are so that you can alleviate a lot of those doubts and a lot of that price resistance. But chasing clients, that also leads into, when I talk about price resistance, chasing clients puts you in that position where you're discounting prices wholesale, just to capture somebody. You're giving massive, massive, massive price discounts just to get the business. And then you end up doing the business for them and you're completely dissatisfied because all the time and energy that you put in, and you don't feel like you got adequately compensated because you didn't. You slashed your prices just so that you can entertain this client that you've been chasing. Well, the energy that you put into chasing that one client, you could have been working on your marketing message and really targeting who, and that's what we're going to get into next, really targeting the who you're going to market to. And now you're stuck with a client that is underpaying you for a job that you really didn't want. That turns out you really didn't want in hindsight. So it's important to establish the who of your marketing message. That's a huge thing. And when I say the who, I don't think a lot of people spend enough time establishing the who. There's this book, Alan Deeb, I believe, and I'm gonna look for his content here in a second, but while I'm talking, but it's called The One Page Marketing Plan. It's a fantastic book, and really what it does is the One Page Marketing Plan gives you an opportunity to identify who your dream clients are and serve them. And the benefit of having an idea of who your dream clients are is you don't ever really have to worry about a marketing message because your clients are already going to resonate with who you are. They've identified that they want to work with you because you align with something that they have in mind of who they want to interact with. It sounds strange enough, but once you target and once you know exactly who your clients are, life becomes a lot easier. And a lot of people don't spend enough time establishing that who. They don't really take enough time to sit down and sort out the who they're marketing to. So I'm pulling up this one page marketing plan and I'm going to share the screen with you just so that you guys can take a look at it. It's a document I use with all my clients. And matter of fact, I'm still learning the StreamYard thing. I may drop it in the chat if I can. I'll see if I can drop it and make it a downloadable thing for people that are tuning in. But I see it as it's something that allows you to, it's tremendously valuable because it saves so much time and energy. Because once you have your who of your marketing, everything else comes together because then you can come up with a message that connects with that who and stuff like that. Ooh, looks like I got some comments. I'll get to the comments here in a second, but it allows you to determine exactly who you're speaking to so that you can frame your marketing message in a way that communicates directly to them and excludes people that aren't appropriate for your marketing, because that's important too. You want to get rid of the people that that don't connect with your marketing. All right. True. All right. Have you ever personally ran into a situation where you've chased and it's benefited both parties? Yes, I actually have, but it took a little bit of time to establish the trust of the relationship. Had I pursued and pushed before they actually saw the value of what I could offer, we'd be probably in a different situation. But I had established what my value was, and the pursuit was mutually beneficial because I got a client that I absolutely love working with, and they actually absolutely loved my services. And so we have a good, strong relationship because I pursued by constantly reaching out. When they said it didn't fit in, what I was offering didn't really fit in their budget or didn't really align with what they had allocated to do, I said, all right, that's fine. I respect that. But in the subsequent months, I kept feeding them information and saying, hey, here's an article I came across. It might benefit you in your journey. Or here's something I just recorded. Check this out. I was constantly providing them value the entire time. And so when the budget became open and they saw the value and I was able to offer, it was boom, just like that. So there's a time where the pursuit becomes a mutually, it becomes this mutual thing, because, you shift from chasing the client to both you on this path. You're just waiting till the paths intersect. So you're on parallel paths, walking in the same direction, and you're providing information so that those paths can intersect at some day. And so, yes, there is a benefit, but it wasn't a chase all the way. If it had just been a chase, that means I chase you down, you're not quite ready for my services, and then I bullshit you, excuse my language, but I bullshit you into taking out my services before you've seen the complete value of what I can do and you understand how that value can transform your business. So did that answer the question? I'm hoping it did. But yeah, I've had it where I've chased, but then at the same time, I kind of flipped it by providing value, if that makes sense, all the way. Okay, so providing info and staying relevant with the client is better than force feeding my services. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And real quick, let me know who you are so I can shout you out. But yes, providing information and staying relevant with the client is better than force feeding your services 100%. Because here's the thing, you're going to force feed the services and they may take you up on your offer, but you're always going to be trying to establish what your value is. You're going to always be locked into, well, how much am I paying for this? They're going to get locked into it. They're going to see the price more than they actually see the value. It's better to continue to provide supportive services to them, provide them information, and let them know that you know what you're talking about so they can build that trust in you. Because a lot of times it's not a money thing, it's a trust thing. They're taking a risk on you. And so you have to establish that you can be trusted with the risk, they're taking. And so constantly providing good information to them, solid, actionable information, helps out a lot. So yeah, it is a lot better to continue just sending them services, checking in with them every once in a while, especially if it's a client that you really see that you could benefit and you think that you would love working with them. Great. Take the pursuit out of your mind and say, well, I'm going to just keep demonstrating my value. And either they're going to say yes or going to say no. The no can be liberating. Yep. All right. Jamar, I got you. So I got some money tied up in a few places. All right, cool. So the no is liberating, man. Sometimes you work hard to, you do all the chasing and stuff, and you sit down and you talk to them and they say, you know what? No, this isn't going to work for me. That no is liberating. It frees you up to go do other projects. But sometimes that no is kind of like no, I don't have the money right now, but if I did, I'd work with you. Okay, so now I have an open door to keep feeding you information and keep telling you about what I do so that you can see value in what I do. Sometimes the no is, no, we're not a right fit, and then you can move on. But you can keep them in your back pocket. There's been no's that I've gotten where it was kind of a hard no, but through constant interaction and them learning that, okay, I know what I'm talking about, I'm trustworthy in what I do, the no kind of started turning into a curious, I'm kind of curious about what you do. I'm interested a little bit in the services. Can you do something small here and see what happens? So I would just say there's no benefit in out and out just chasing down somebody and hounding them until they buy from you. That's an old school sales tactic that benefits in those kind of one-off things, like if you're a vacuum salesman or something and they don't need there's not going to be any follow-up services. You just got to sell them this thing and you're not really worried about any, selling them any attachments to it. You just want to sell the product. Chase them down, get their money and move on. But if you're looking for ongoing services or ongoing relationship with clients, the best way is talk to them, see where they're at. And if they're not quite ready, keep feeding them information and see if they come around. So that's how I phrase it. Here, I'm going to show you guys the one-page marketing plan canvas that I use to help determine the who of your business. So let me share the screen here real quick. All right. So I'm sharing the one-page marketing plan here. All right. This book is fantastic, and this is a fantastic tool that I use. And, I don't I don't have any shame in sharing, letting you peek behind the screen of the stuff that I use to help out my clients. So the one page marketing plan allows you to determine who you're marketing to. And once you have a firm who, you stop chasing. Um, we've seen it. I've seen it with a couple of other businesses I work with. We determined exactly who the marketing message is tailored to. We're able to target it and point it directly at who we want to deal with. And you're able to point it right at your dream clients, which is a huge, huge benefit uh, of having targeted marketing. When you market to everybody, you're really marketing to nobody, because, McDonald's markets to everybody, Walmart markets to everybody. There are plenty of big places that will market services to everybody. H&R Block pretty much markets to everybody. But if you're a specialty accountant who deals with just deals with small businesses, then you need to put that in your messaging and make sure that you're getting in front of small business owners. So my target market, this is probably one of the most important things that you're going to find. You need to establish who your target market is. You need to know who your dream client is. And I call it an avatar. You need to have an idea of who your avatar is, who's listening, who's listening for your message. Having an avatar of a client means how much they make, what they like, why they're after your product, why they're interested in your product. You've taken the time, and some people even have names for the avatars that they've created for their businesses, or specific product lines. Sometimes businesses will have an avatar for every product line that they have. But having an avatar created in your mind of specifically who is buying this product allows you to put a marketing message directly to that person. Because how you communicate to Jim over here, you may communicate differently to Wando over here. And so they may have different ways and different modes of communication. You don't even talk to your kid. If you have more than one kid, you don't even talk to your kids the same way. You communicate with them in the way that they're ready to receive the message. And so this allows you to communicate in a way that your dream clients are going to hear your message. Okay. My message to my target market, what are you going to do? What message are you putting behind it? Why should they pick your product or service? And the media is hugely important. All right. And I'm probably knocking out a couple of YouTube episodes that I'm going to be doing subsequently, but the media you use to reach your target market is huge. I see a lot of business owners who get lost in a sea of social media sites, and they're trying to be present everywhere. And what happens is they build a small audience. And since they're spread so thin between so many social media sites, they're not able to keep that audience engaged on a certain platform because they're present everywhere else. And so they have to create content for all these other places. There are plenty of ways to repurpose content for different social media sites. Like right now, I'm recording the audio and video of this so I can chop it up possibly into a podcast, chop it up into video shorts for YouTube and things like that. But you don't have to be present everywhere. And social media sites have different characteristics. So, and this is just off the top of my head, so don't hold me account, don't hold my feet to the fire on this one. But in my estimation, Instagram, a little around my age, a little bit younger. Facebook, around my age and a little bit older. So I'm 41. So, 41 and up, you're going to find them on Facebook. 41 and down, you might find them on Instagram. Twitter, I don't know exactly. No, demographics is pretty wide berth. TikTok is a young person's sport. Now, I'm not saying that businesses have found success with TikTok, but you got to know the characteristics of the demographics on there. So if you make a catchy video that's viral and funny and cute, or very usable on TikTok, or very useful on TikTok, you're going to find an audience. But the audience is younger on TikTok than it will be on Facebook. The audience is going to be younger on Facebook than it will be on Instagram. It's going to, let me flip it around. The audience is younger on Instagram than it will be on Facebook. And then there's other sides of the characteristics. So LinkedIn, if you're posting content on LinkedIn, people go to LinkedIn to do business. And so any video you post on LinkedIn has a longer tail if you're telling people how to do stuff, because people go to LinkedIn to learn or for value for their career or their business. They go to YouTube to be entertained. sometimes to learn, but mostly to be entertained. So if you post a video on LinkedIn that has good educational things that people can use or good information people can use, that's going to go a lot further with that specific audience, especially if you're targeting business owners. You're going to go pretty far on LinkedIn. And YouTube, you may go far, but the duration that you're going to be in the spotlight is shorter because the sheer volume of stuff that's uploaded to YouTube is short attention span theater. So you're going to have a longer attention span on LinkedIn, especially if you're dealing with business owners. Business owners go to LinkedIn to link up with other business owners or to find business opportunities out in the world. They don't go to LinkedIn for entertainment. That's what YouTube is for. Now, not saying you can't find a solid audience on YouTube, but you have to have a very solid content strategy with a very narrow focus of who you're going to target in mind when you post something on YouTube, especially if you want to benefit from, from my experience, the hottest traffic on the internet. YouTube is some of the hottest traffic you're ever going to find, because people do go to YouTube for a little bit of education, a little bit of entertainment, but a lot of times people will just, they'll use YouTube as one off and just type in, how do I do blah, 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 blah. Boom. If your video pops up in there, how do I do blah, 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 or how do I choose a blah, or how do I choose a plumber? If your video pops up, you're a plumber, you have a video that says how to determine whether the plumber is good or bad. If your video pops up in their feed, they may be giving you a call, especially if you're local. So YouTube is hot traffic, but it has to be targeted because there's so much content on YouTube. And there are a lot of people that are bullshit artists on YouTube too. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. So the media I'll use to reach my target is very important. You need to know the demographics. You need to know where your audience is. Are they primarily Facebook users? If they are, then you probably need to be on Facebook. And here's the other side. If you hate a platform, don't feel like you have to contribute to it. There's too many platforms out here for you to be tied to a platform that you hate. Because if you hate it and resent it, you'll hate creating content for it, and you'll fall out of your content strategy really easy. My lead capture system, perfect lead capture system. And I'm coming back to check messages here in a second. Perfect lead capture system. I don't know if you guys seen the Retire Smart dude. He comes on Sunday morning. He has a little infomercial called Retire Smart. He has a perfect lead capture system. It is an infomercial where he talks about retirement concepts. He says it in very, very plain language. And he puts his number on the bottom of the screen. That's a perfect lead capture system, because by the time people call that number, they've already decided that they're going to give them their money. That's the perfect lead capture system. He whets the appetite with stuff about retirement, gives them some usable, general, basic information. It's not too specific, won't get him in any trouble. And then he says, if you want to find out more, book an appointment, and here's my phone number right at the bottom. Instantly, he has credibility from being on TV. He has a number that you can call. And if he calls, you're going to get immediate service. That is a perfect lead capture system. You can duplicate that. Now, you may not have the budget to buy a TV commercial, but you can do it with a YouTube channel. You can do it with content on Facebook. You can do it with a well-placed ad, a well-targeted, well-placed ad, video ad, photo ad, or whatever. But that lead capture system brings in the clients that he wants. And if people are like, well, I don't really trust him, they're not going to call that number. So he doesn't have to worry about the clients the clients that are reluctant to work with him. It's a great system. Lead nurturing. This is just how, once you get those leads in, it's your intake process. When you get them in and you start working with them, are you asking diagnostic questions to better serve them, or are you just dropping services on their head? Are you evaluating whether you're a good fit for them? Because they may be evaluating that you're a great fit they may think that you're a great fit for them, but if they don't fit within the framework of your business, you got to let them know, like, these things aren't really lining up for me, and I don't know if I'm gonna be a great fit for you. Now, this goes back to the chasing part. You stop chasing. Now you're not chasing. You're saying, okay, I've evaluated you. I sat down and talked to you. I don't know if you're a good fit for my business. If they really want to work with you, they will adjust to you. And you can't have it a better way. They will adjust because they really want to work with you. And that's a fantastic position to be in. And it's not manipulative or anything. But if they don't fit with what your normal client is, then you can say, typically, these are the kind of clients we deal with. They will make themselves try, if they really want to work with you, they will want to fit in, and they'll try to make themselves fit into the clients that they want to work with. All right. Lead nurturing system, sales conversion. So now that you have them and they're ready to make that purchase, how are you converting them? Well, what's the next step in the process? Are you just putting your menu of services out in front of you? Are you playing the doctor role and prescribing services based on your diagnostic interview, which you probably should be doing? Because if you're prescribing services, then you could say these services will best suit you, and these are the things that are going to make you happy, so that you have a smaller you have less chance of having that mismatch where they get a service that's inappropriate for them, and now they're disappointed with what the service you provide. If you're prescribing the service for them and you're taking the decision making away and saying, okay, these are the things that I think, in my estimation, based on the questions you answered for me, these will best fit your needs. Now you're in a better position, because now you can give them the right service at the right time. How do I deliver a world-class experience? That's all down to your service. How do you make them feel like they've gotten the most value of what you're providing? And that doesn't always mean a money thing. That means that you're providing them a white gloves level service where they feel like this is amazing and I want to do this again. How do I increase customer lifetime value? A lot of times that goes into the follow-up after you make the sale. If you're continuing to follow up with your clients, especially if you're just selling a product, are you following up with them? Are you showing them new offers? Or are you constantly upgrading the thing that they bought, so in a couple of years they'll be ready to buy another one? Or are you offering parallel products that will enhance their experience with the product or service that you've already given them? I have a Roku upstairs attached to the TV, and I keep seeing the ads for the Roku sound bar, which sounds intriguing. And so that's something that can enhance my user experience with the Roku. And plus, now Roku gets more money from me. And then how to orchestrate and stimulate referrals. Ask for referrals. Stop doing that to yourself. If somebody's very happy with the service you provided, there is nothing wrong with asking them to refer clients. And here's the thing. You're wagering on the fact that the people that they refer you to are kind of like them, and they're kind of in the same mode that they are. So if they're happy with the services that you provided, the people they refer are going to be as likely as happy with the services. So that's what this is about. And this is the template I use for all my clients when I bring them on board. So I'm going to jump back in here and see if I have any questions coming up. All right. So as far as ads go, would you say Facebook and Instagram are the way to go Snapchat? I feel this isn't the move. Here's the thing. Where are your audience? Who is your audience? Where do they reside? Are they on Facebook and Instagram? Then that's where you need to put ads. If they're on Snapchat, that's where you need to put ads. Trying to move audience from platform to platform is very difficult. If I came on here and said, you can watch this whole video on YouTube, maybe one person will come over and watch it on YouTube. People want to consume content on the platform they're actively using and the platform they use the most. It's hard to move people from platform to platform. So go find where your audience is. You can even put it in there. You can follow me on Snapchat, and they follow you on Snapchat, then they're on Snapchat. But you can even put that in your intake process. What social media do you currently use? So you can start figuring out where your clients are, or track where your clients are coming from. But it's not as important. There's no magic bullet with social media where this one platform is going to give you everything you need. Every platform has different characteristics and has different audience characteristics. So it's more important to figure out specifically where most of your audience is. But if you're comfortable with Snapchat, then master Snapchat and start creating content for your Snapchat audience. If they're there, they'll react to it, they'll respond to it, and they'll come in and do business with you. But as far as ads, and like I said, ads can be here's the thing that you got to be careful with ads. And I tell a lot of my clients this, especially with Facebook ads. Facebook makes it dead simple to create an ad. They make it very simple to create an ad. What they don't do is they don't tell you how to get the most out of your ad. So you create a post on Facebook, for your business, and they say, if you just click this button here, you can boost this post, which basically makes it into a Facebook ad. You click the button and it boosts the post out there. And now you have a big audience seeing this post. Yeah. LinkedIn is targeting is killer too. Yeah, LinkedIn targeting is great if you're running a business. That's where your audience is. If they're information based, I would absolutely go with LinkedIn too. Like I said, here's the thing, and this kind of applies to all of them, and I'm using Facebook as an example. Facebook ads are dead simple. They just want you to click a button and put a budget in, and boom, there it goes. Here's the thing they don't tell you. They don't tell you that you get the most bang for your buck when you actually use targeting options on Facebook. You can micro target your audience. You can target, I know one of the ones I use is top 5% income earners in the state where you're operating. Engaged shoppers, people who buy stuff online. You can target people whose jobs are coaches, people who work at elementary schools. You can target people who have children from between 1 and 6 years old. You can target a lot of different options. And when you target specific demographics, behaviors, interests, the whole nine on Facebook, you get the most value for your money. Do not just go out here and boost a Facebook ad without targeting your options, because every time somebody clicks on that ad, you're paying money. And Facebook wants you to pay as much money as possible. And so they'll show your ad to everybody, whether or not they align with your ad. Because when you go into the back end of Facebook to target stuff, you can exclude people from your searches too. So if you don't want other people in your industry seeing specifically what you're doing, you can tell Facebook, don't show this ad to these specific categories. And it works like gangbusters. But a lot of people don't know that. And so they'll go out there and boost out ads on Facebook and waste hundreds of dollars showing their ad to a bunch of people that aren't going to buy their services. And you feel like you've done something because, you might get 1 or 2 people that are interested, where you could have taken that same $100, showed it to an audience of people that are super interested and gotten 10 people for less money. So I would say, pick what platform you're going to use, but just know if your audience is on that platform and know how to reach that audience on that platform. I know that's not the clean answer, but really, y'all, that's the best way to do it. I think a lot of people get too caught up in, being present on this social media platform or that one, or the new hot one that's coming out. Pick one where your audience is and get proficient at it. Do not just go out there. And if you want to learn a new social media platform, feel free, knock yourself out, go do it. But get proficient at it and learn how to communicate on there so that you can get the most out of your presence on there. Too many people jump into these social media waters and not really know how it works. My first foray into Twitter was an absolute disaster. I didn't quite understand the platform and didn't understand how people communicated on it. And so, if I was running a business through there, it would actually hurt me on Twitter. It actually hurt me to do stuff on Twitter. So, but yeah, like I said, understand this. You're going to want to focus and, because here's the thing. Once you have a firm grasp of the who, everything else falls into place. Well, you know exactly who and I ask my clients, who are your dream clients? What clients make you happy to jump out of bed and provide services to them? Okay. Once you have that in mind, okay, so now that you know who your dream clients are, how do you get more of them? What do they like? What don't they like? Well, this person likes this and likes that. Okay. So now you can start constructing an ad around that, constructing some marketing materials around that, constructing a video around what your dream clients like and what they don't like. So you can get more of the kind of people that you want to work with and less of the people that you don't want to work with. Because at the end of the day, no business, no small business is going to thrive by trying to please everybody. You're not going to survive in life trying to please everybody. Sometimes your business may not be for everybody, and that's fine. I go back to it. If you don't want to do business with me because I'm not wearing a suit or tie, then we weren't right for each other. It's a mismatch from the beginning. If your expectation is I come in a suit and a tie, well, we're not going to line up and it's not going to work. You're not going to work as a client, and I'm not going to work as somebody providing services to you. That's just how it goes, y'all. So that's what I have for you today. I do appreciate everybody that's left a message. Like I said, I'm trying to get more proficient with doing these. Not more proficient, more consistent with doing these on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, I kind of lost a little bit of my mojo, and I had to kind of recalibrate how I wanted to do things. And so I do think that this is a good focus here. But like I said, when you understand the who, it makes life a lot easier. You're not chasing as much because the people that you work with are pleased, they're thrilled to do business with you. Business is a lot easier when you have clients that want to work with you, as opposed to clients that have to be coerced, bought, persuaded, forced in at gunpoint. You don't want those clients, man. And your business, you'll start resenting your business if you have to serve people that you don't like. That's what happens. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Thanks. Shout out to Jamar. I can't talk today, man. Shout out to Jamar Prater and whoever else left messages for me. I tried to read everybody. Like I said, make sure that you post, or if you post on here, you let me know who you are, because it doesn't exactly show me who is responding. If you're interested in business, or you want to just sit down and talk about your business specifically, or you want to start learning how to do your own marketing, I am wide open for services. My business is I Sell Words. Just go to isellwords.net, or the more efficient ways is just shoot me an email at bsellswords@gmail.com. You shoot me an email at bsellswords@gmail.com. We can schedule a time and we can sit down and talk about some marketing strategies that you can implement in your own business. Again, like I said, I'm kind of at my bandwidth with taking on new clients to do their marketing for them, but I have plenty of bandwidth to teach you how to do your own and help you along the way. And maybe there may be some things that I jump in there and do, but overall, I'm kind of at my limit with taking on clients and doing the services for them. I will teach you some simple things to help you improve your marketing efforts. So, but that's what I got, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.